I cannot keep up, you guys. Every single time I get a new release, and I have every intention of reviewing it right away, I never have time to get it up, like immediately. Today I want to review the Reckless Romance palette from Beauty Bay. I have been looking at videos online, haven't watched any of them, but kind of looking to see when people were posting, and I think like the oldest one was about 2 weeks ago. So I'm a little bit behind in terms of like newness and the other videos that are out there. I almost always say that though. Everything that I get, I purchase on my own. So I'm gonna get it like everyone else gets it essentially. I fell in love with Beauty Bay's formula. I wanna say it was last year. It could have been like the end of 2022. So I'm paying attention to their releases. This one's right up my alley in terms of color story, you guys. Let's do live swatches. Let's do reviews. Let's get into this. We're going full details. So this beauty retails for $22. It says embrace your dark feminine energy with the Reckless Romance palette, starring 20 edgy matte and shimmer shades that create countless sultry looks. This palette is perfect for every kind of date night or day, ranging from sparkling silvers and grungy grays to pops of berry. This is an affair worth getting into. It's vegan, cruelty-free, and they have something called a money-back promise. It's gorgeous. This is basically like your neutrally mauve palette with some really nice deep burgundies and some deep browns. I would say looking at it though, it's a little bit lighter in person than it is looking at the pictures and kind of the swatches online, but maybe the swatches, they come out a little bit deeper. So I am gonna do, I feel like it's so bright in here. Hold on a second. I am trying to get my tech in order, you guys. I've been playing with new mics. I basically hate them all. They all sound funny. So I'm back on the one that I have had since I started my channel. But this camera is just so much better. Like it picks up light so well. And I don't want too much brightness. I'd like it to be a little bit more true or using natural light as much as I can. So I'm trying to find the warmth settings here. But back to the palette, let's get to swatching. I'm gonna throw on some background music and I'm gonna do it on this side of my arm and we're gonna go all the way down. I'm gonna do the swatches pretty tight together because I need room to get all 20 shades on one arm. Here we go. So starting from top left and going across horizontally, that's how I swatch my palettes. This one here is called Number One, a light beige matte. That's how it's described. It's maybe good for brightening on some skin tones, but I always say like shades like this are my skin tone, so they don't show up on me almost ever. So I'll probably use this to set my eyes. Rebel is a mid-toned raspberry matte. VIP is a deep gold shimmer. Fling is a cool toned purple matte. That's chunky, a little chunky fallout on that one. Love Song is a deep brown matte. That one might be like a little bit desaturated once I swatched it out. Soulmate is a cool toned mauve matte. That's really pretty. I love a cool toned mauve. This next one in Girlfriend is a frosted light pink shimmer, but this one looks like it has glitters in it. Oh, it's so smooth. Their shimmers are so delightful. Their mattes are also delightful, but it's, I don't know, the shimmer is just so good. Affair is a deep red matte. It's a rich deep though. I mean, I'd almost consider that kind of a burgundy shade, like wine colored. Starting to stain my fingers. Here is After Party. They call this a pink shimmer. It looks a little purple to me. Yeah. A little bit more purple than pink. Those reds are definitely staining my finger, so let me switch here. Actually, no, let's do one more that's also like a purpley shade that's probably gonna stain me. So this is Front Row. This is described as a dark purple matte. This one is beautiful, like a really nice all in its own kind of shade. This is called Encore, which is a cool toned mauve shimmer. Yeah, really pretty. I love the cool tone mauve stuff in here. All these mauves that I've been testing lately, they've just been so warm based. And I don't enjoy that. When I enjoy a mauve, I enjoy a cool tone. This is giving me multiple kind of mauve shades that are very cool toned. I like that. This next one is called Tattoo, a dark gray matte. This next one is Mini Dress. It's a silver shimmer. Ooh, that one's really nice. Backstage is a cool toned light gray matte. Some of these mattes, they're pretty intense right away and they don't carry all the way out. I mean, it doesn't mean much. Usually Beauty Bay stuff is absolutely stunning. And for 22 bucks, hey. I like the name of this one. And because I think it matches the shade. It's a little hard to tell on my swatch, but it has got a lot of shimmer into it. This is a black shimmer. It's called Fishnets. It's a black multi-fleck shimmer. In the pan, you can really see the multi-flecks. Oh gosh, that was buttery. I don't know if you really see it too much on the swatch. I mean, very fine glitters kind of, or shimmers. So it doesn't translate from far away very well. Holy rich. This is Paparazzi. It's a warm toned deep brown matte. It's intense. Oh, I got really close to the other one. But that one is really pigmented. That's my first matte swatch that went all the way to the end. Man, this swatch is so good. Like so much better than I feel like it kind of looks in the pan. This one is Muse, a deep pink shimmer. So pretty, so pretty. Wish I could have done all my swatches this close. The next one is Last Night, and it's a mid-toned gray. I like that they have the grays in here as well. It's not just kind of pinks and browns. You have some other deeper shades in here too, if you like that. The next one is the last shimmer. This is Rockstar, which is a purple shimmer. I have to get pretty close, and I didn't at all. And the very last one is Leather. It's a dark black matte. Ooh, you guys, that's intense. Intense. This is such a brilliant color story. Like, brilliant. This looks exactly like what I would probably curate if you gave me money and made me pick colors. I feel like this is kind of exactly what I would do. I might change some of the shimmers up a little bit because that orangey one is lacking intensity for me. The glitter here is not as intense as I would like. I'd like to see like a fiery shimmer here, but some really nice like mid-tone shimmers and some lighter shimmers. I like that there's a gray shimmer. There's some deeper shimmers here at the bottom. Overall, the curation here is just woo! Not terribly dissimilar to a lot of my favorite palettes, and then even ones that I've done reviews on where I've said like this is just my kind of curation, my kind of color story. That's exactly what this is. I was also messing with a very similar kind of color story yesterday. I just have a video up on the new like, Adept Cosmetics Flying Fiddles palette, and that one has a lot of maroons and burgundies as well. And so I'm like a little fearful here of kind of doing the same look. I think I wouldn't do an all gray look necessarily, but I'm gonna try and make it look a little different than yesterday. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to take this cool toned mauve shade all over, and because this one was so rich down here in the corner, I'm going to use this, but I'm going to deepen it in with this black shade out here, just like blend these two shades together in the outer corner. And this one I was kind of swatching, and it's a little bit of a mushy shade. Let me see if it'll focus. So I don't know if I want to do that one. That's like the lightest kind of cool tone shimmer, and it like is getting mushy. It's like a little bit hard panned, and it's not as intense. Like it doesn't have as much of a base to it on this finger than this one does, but both of those are kind of a viable option at this point. So I don't know which one I'm gonna necessarily pick just yet. I'm gonna see how the look turns out as I'm going, and we'll see which shimmer we reach into. But I'm gonna zoom you guys in, and then I'm gonna speed through this process. And by the way, I am going to take that number 1 shade, that very light shade, and just set all over the lid. Wow, you guys, this look came together. This was one of my favorite eye looks that I have put together, and I can't even tell you how long. The performance of this was basically butter. This was so good. The look came out like exactly what I was envisioning and not some other version. I don't know if that ever happens to you guys, but sometimes it's like I envision something in my head and the shades just, even though I swatch them, don't always pull as they should on the eyes. You guys, this is freaking stunning. I did end up going in with this shimmer because this one right here and this one, like this one just seemed too kind of translucent. You could see through it a lot, not a huge base on it. And the cool toned mauve shimmer didn't have a lot of glitters, where this silver one had a ton of glitters. And I was like, well, I want something like really impactful and different than the shades that I was using. And I was figuring this would be too similar to this shade that I used just above it, which is a cool tone mauve matte. So I think the look came out great. I even like love the lower lash line. I don't know, the shadows just performed fantastically. This is like a color story of my dreams, just of my dreams. So good, so good. And for $22, you guys, you can't beat this. That's kind of how I feel about it. I mean, you get 20 freaking colors for 22 bucks. If you do that math backwards, you're barely spending $1 per shade and you're getting a palette, right? It just, the quality of it is so delightful. I don't think you guys could go wrong with this. This is my kind of color story. Everything came together super duper well. I'm very thrilled to have participated in this Beauty Bay journey with you. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. I'm out of here for today, you guys, and I hope to catch y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.